Good afternoon. Welcome, dear Sangha, to our question and answer session on the Jewel Ornament of Liberation series. We'll begin today with opening prayers on page 4 and 5 in the Yellow Garchen Buddhist Institute prayer book. Until awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings. Until awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings. Until awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings. May all mother sentient beings, limitless as space, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. May all mother sentient beings, limitless as space, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. May all mother sentient beings, limitless as space, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion.
Okay, many tashdele, and now we will start to answer to the questions. They're fun, either maybe mixed.
Okay. If anyone has any question, they can raise their hand, or we'll start with some email. Oh, there we go.
Oh, yes.
Ta-da.
Yes, Jay.
I have lots, but I'll ask one at a time based on how much time we have. So the one in the second session, you talked about emotions having two aspects. One was afflictions or the afflictive nature, and the other was cumulative obscurations. And then there was something about attachment with that. I'll go back and listen again. And then you talked about different layers and how some can purify together. Can you talk more about cumulative obscurations?
Actually, obscuration is a temporary cover of Buddha nature and our Dharma wisdom. Then how this obscuration will accumulate is we repeat same action or motivation through ignorance. For example, through my ignorance, I did some mistake yesterday, and I do some mistake today, and I will do some mistake tomorrow. So that means this ignorance accumulate, and then this kind of ignorance is become very this kind of ignorance becomes very strong. We can say like certain, very certain, and then it is very difficult to remove. So that's where kind of this ignorance is a very strong cause to remain in samsara for long time. Same thing in the virtues. When we accumulate virtue, if we repeat day by day, and then this virtue becomes very strong and certain. So anyhow, this some now ignorance or obscuration are we do it only one time, especially at that time we don't do it through body, speech, and mind. So then these ignorance are very generally all ignorance are temporary, but particularly kind of this ignorance or obscuration is a very temporary.
Okay, so that's the when the prayers talk about the thickening, how things thicken. Is that the cumulative obscurations?
Yeah, actually, in the simple way, yes. The obscuration actually there's for example obscuration of cognitive and obscuration of what is called the affective emotions, and also we call obscuration of kind of a karma actually or action. So these are and also we say there are four obscurations. Other one is kind of I can't translate exactly now because I did not bring this book. And then, however, all these obscurations are include to the obscuration of cognitive and obscuration of affective emotions. So these Sharavikas, practical Buddhas, they purify obscuration of affective emotion. And then higher practitioners, kind of these bodhisattvas, they purifies obscuration of cognitive. But of course, they also first purify the obscuration of affective emotion.
Okay. Yep, I got enough to get me by.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you. When you are who have questions, then please raise up your hand. Okay, but here also have some questions, so we do it together. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll switch and we'll do one and then one and then one. So first question, speaking of the Shravakas, on page 19 it says, in the Lotus Sutra, it says, "O monks, you must give rise to a noble and mighty wave of effort, and by so doing you will achieve all-knowing pristine awareness." How come that these words, the mighty wave of effort, have been interpreted into the Mahayana path or bodhicitta? Why doesn't mighty effort just solely mean mighty effort? Okay, so I can't understand. I can't see why these words in the Lotus Sutra prove that Shravakas can't reach Buddhahood. And I can't understand any logical proof here which gives a good reason that Shravakas cannot attain Buddhahood.
Yes, Shravakas will become Buddhahood, and even all beings will become Buddhahood. But now in this case, we are talking, for example, Shravakas, they are very exciting to become Buddhahood. And then, of course, practical Buddhas and Bodhisattvas all, and we all too. But Shravakas, they, through their practice, it takes a long time to become Buddha. It takes a long time to become Buddhahood, attain Buddhahood. Because to become Buddhahood means actually we should become Dharmakaya. So Dharmakaya means it's as Mahayana said, if your mind and empty space are non-dual, then you are master of Dharmakaya. So that's where this our mind have to open completely. It's boundless. Our mind, right now we can say this empty space is boundless. This pretty easily figure that out. But if I say our mind is boundless, but it's quite hard to fathom it, imagine it. But in the reality, our mind is boundless. So it is profound. And Shravakas, they don't try to generate bodhicitta. Bodhicitta means should think countless mother sentient beings benefit. Try to benefit countless of mother sentient beings. So Shravakas, they don't try it. Because they cannot see through their practice can benefit all beings. It's depending. Some countries only try to benefit one's own country, but some countries takes responsibility for whole these countries. So that's where it has said the Shravakas, they don't try to benefit all beings, and for that reasons they cannot purify obscuration or grasping of phenomena, but they can purify self-grasping. So that's where in the logic is that they for instance in this temple we turn on the light, but then this light can remove only darkness of this temple, but the sun rise in the space, so that's where it remove all darkness on the earth. So like that, likewise, similarly, Shravakas, they don't generate great bodhicitta for liberating all beings. For that reason, they will not able to become Buddhahood through their ways. But their practices are wonderful, and through their practice wonderfully, and then slowly they will become Buddha. But here what should we understand is they must come to join Bodhisattva's path. they must join Bodhisattva's path. It does not mean they should change some traditions and something. Only they change to they change their mind. I mean, first they thought only themselves. They practice, but they think only themselves. But then next, what should they think? They should practice and think for others, and then they will become Buddhahood.
Okay, I'm going to ask the next question because it kind of follows up on this one. On page 20, it says that the Shravakas, we're still talking about Shravakas and Pratyeka Buddhas, it says that the Shravakas and Pratyeka Buddhas, the potential of the Shravakas and Pratyeka Buddhas are lesser because they only need to eliminate the afflictions, like you were just saying, whereas the realization concerning the Mahayana potential involves elimination of both obscurations. So the question is that if all afflictions are eliminated and all of the yanas, which would be the case in the Shravaka's path, and all the yanas are cultivated and realized, wouldn't it automatically eliminate the second type of obscuration through automatically emerging transcendental wisdom, and or through the experience in itself?
Mm-hmm. So what's which number?
Which at the number 2 on your page?
Oh yeah. Oh, thank you. Mm-hmm. So I think this answer we should remember in the Buddha's single attention of Lord Jigten Sunggu. So it says sometimes some purify cognitive obscurations before purify afflictive emotions. So that is Milarepa also told to Gampopa. Milarepa himself purify obscurations before purify afflictive emotions. But the meaning of that is Milarepa, for example, Milarepa, he purify the root of samsara, which is ignorance. So purifying root of samsara or ignorance, and then other afflictive emotions, they spontaneously will purify, because these afflictive emotions are appear or occurring from root of ignorance, root of samsara. So root of samsara is like a main tree, and other other afflictive emotions are the branch, the trees, branches of trees. So if the root of tree dry up, and then all the other these trees branches will also become dry. So similarly, these some so that it does not mean we don't want to try remove afflictive emotions. Only we try to remove ignorance. Not like that. It is depending with practitioners. Some some afflictive emotions bothers a lot. For example, angry or jealousy or some afflictive emotions bothers a lot, which means they lost their freedom because they cannot control their afflictive emotions as well, jealousy and so on. And that's where these kind of practitioners have to try to purify jealousy, or because that jealousy leads that person's action or motivation. So the however there are little different understand. I don't know how much it makes clear for you. The one way is all afflictive emotions are combined ignorance. So angry combines ignorance, and then anger combines with the ignorance. And if one purify ignorance, then what happened? Then one knows the faults of angry emotion. So when one knows fault of anger, and then one tries to reduce or purify angry emotion. So why that practitioner tries to purify angry emotion? Because that practitioner realizes the faults of angry emotion. But this realization is wisdom, Dharma wisdom. So through this way, sometimes the ignorance purify first. We call ignorance purify first, and then afflictive emotions purify afflictive emotions. We say it, but generally first we have to purify afflictive emotions first, and then we have to purify the root of this afflictive emotion.
Thank you, Khenpo.
Thank you.
If anyone would like to ask a question, please raise your hand.
Oh, yes.
Okay, I guess we'll keep moving here.
Okay, after one question, or
we can
Yes.
open up to Jay. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Jay.
All right. So the other is you had talked about self-grasping and grasping of phenomena,
Mm-hmm.
and that there's a subtle grasping. Can you just talk? It sounded, what I understood was that grasping of phenomena is a form or a type of self-grasping.
All right.
That they have the same essence.
Yes, they are same essence. They have same essence. In the Madhyamaka text, it explains very clearly about grasping and grasping of phenomena. So grasping of phenomena is subtle of grasping. Actually, subtle of grasping. So grasping of phenomena is very hard to purify. For example, we have fixation. Even we are fixated on the yadams or we are fixating on the good jobs, good things, they are also grasping of phenomena. This self-grasping is like we think and I need something, I need good. Those things are self-grasping, and self-grasping of phenomena it's actually very deep and very subtle. So if we do not purify self-grasping, then the wisdom of then the grasping of phenomena is not easy to purify actually, but it's depending with the practitioners. So they both grasping. Grasp means hold. That's where it identifies something, or it fixate on something. But they have the self-grasping is pretty gross. But self-grasping, it also has a gross part and a subtle part. So the grasping of phenomena has also subtle and gross. So grasping of subtle, very subtle of self-grasping is a gross grasping of phenomena. It's
Okay.
Oh, thank you.
I got it.
Thank you very much. If not clear, and then please repeat me. Oh, yes.
Okay, we'll bounce over to email question. Khenpo, it says the Mahayana potential is peerless and better than all the others, but I find that difficult to believe. Isn't the potential, the empty essence, the Dharmakaya, the all-pervading, isn't that potential? Isn't the potential actually empty essence and Dharmakaya and all-pervading and cannot be undifferentiated? If there is a good potential and then a lesser potential and a not so good potential, then there must be other potentials, layers underneath, and that the layers under it must also be all-pervading and without discrimination. So the good or not so good potential can't be ultimate seed or the ultimate potential.
Yes, you are right. The ultimate potential has no different. Whether Mahayana or these practical Buddhas or so forth, no different. And ran over Buddha's potential, or the beings of in the hell realm or lower realms, there are no difference. But what is the difference is like all of us have same potential. It's like a moon. It's like a moon. But the first day and until full 15th, the moon will increase. So here explain like this way. So we say moonlight or moon increase, like a vaccine moon. We call it a vaccine moon. But in reality, the moon has not become bigger and small. Moon is always one part of. It's not Jupiter. Maybe it's one planet in the space. Always appear. But moon get the sun's reflection, sun's ray. So that's where it has, and then our Mother Earth's shadow, or shade. Mother Earth shades. So that's where they makes bigger and small. So we call it a vaccine moon. So what we see is the moon is become bigger and bigger, bigger and bigger until 15th, from first day of to 15th in Tibetan calendar, for example. Similarly, this the potentials are not different. They are same, but according to purifying obscurations, then we call someone has a higher potential, someone has a lower potential, and so forth. This the discussion is coming through this way. In the reality, they are no different, but according to how much they can purify obscurations on there, then we call it Mahayana and so forth, or Sharavikas and so forth.
Does anyone have a question for Khenpo?
If you have a question, then you raise your hand, please. Oh, yes. Yes, Jay, please.
Go back to Jay.
Yeah.
Great.
I wrote a lot down.
Oh, that's wonderful. Wonderful.
But so you talked about, and I'm sorry, I'm going to mispronounce these. Sharaputa, Mangaputrala, and Ananda. So the three main disciples that were around Buddha. I hear a lot, and I've read a lot about Sharaputa and Ananda, but I don't know very much about Mangaputrala.
Yes.
Would you spend some time
Yes.
telling me something about him?
Yes. Yes, of course. Mangaputrala is Buddha's. When the feature you can see the in the Buddha's Tanka, the right and left side, two monks stand up. So then one is Mangaputrala. So then Shariputra has more wisdom. So he is master of wisdom, and Mangaputrala is a master of a miracle. So Mangaputrala can fly, through his miracle powers, and he can do a lot of. He can show a lot of miracle powers. Before they become Buddha's disciple, they have another guru, and then they focused more about this kind of how to say miracle powers and so forth.
Cities.
Yes, and then after they met Buddha, then they start to improve wisdom, Dharma wisdom. So they both have some very kind of superpower, special powers. Anyhow, they are older than Buddha, but they were Buddha's disciples, and they spent with Buddha for a long time. And then His Eminence Gachin Rinpoche, he's the Mangaputrala, and he has a special connection about his what is called live stream in his generation, or I don't know, it's called reincarnation. However, in His Eminence Gachin Rinpoche's previous lives, and Mangaputrala is His Eminence Gachin Rinpoche's previous life. So they have some relation like this, and they are example of Sharavikas. I mean, at that time, but right after then they become great Bodhisattvas, because for example, in the Heart Sutara comes from Shariputrala and Avalokiteshvara. So anyhow, they are Buddha's disciple. They spend, they sit same place, and yeah, like that.
Perfect.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go back to the email question, unless someone wants to raise hands. Khenpo, what is the logical reason that it is only virtue that gives rise to enlightened qualities, apart from karmic occurrences from the virtue? And those karmic occurrences might make necessary conditions to attain enlightenment or enlightened qualities. But is there a logical reason that it's only virtue that gives rise to these enlightened qualities?
Yes. This is it's nature. For example, we touch the fire, it burns. But touch the water, it will not. It doesn't burn or hint. So similarly, virtues is a cause of qualities, Buddha's qualities, and non-virtues. The Buddha's qualities appear from virtues, because virtues it is related kind of peaceful harmony and happiness and joy and clear. So it is qualities are like that. That's where we call then Buddha's qualities. That's where Buddha's qualities appear from there, because whatever appears from Buddha is perfect for us. And then the harmful, harmful, painful, these sufferings occur from non-virtues, because they are quality of non-virtues. So virtues and suffering has not relation. This is a law of karma, or this law of nature. And non-virtues and sufferings have a relation. This is a law of nature. So that's where virtues will not occur suffering, and so virtues occurs good things. But this is how we can explain right now. But when we go another one step later, further, then virtues and non-virtues of both are emptiness, like an empty space. There's no truly exist. So in the relative form, there are karma, cause, and the relation between cause and the effect. That's why like a fire burns and water will not burn. Like this is the nature. Okay.
Thank you, Khenpo. Well, Helena looks like she has a question.
Oh yes, please.
It's about what you just answered, because it was my question before. I'm just concerned because in with the Shravakas in the Theravada tradition, there's also compassion, but not as much. They don't train on compassion as much. But they have, as far as I understood, a system in the meditation where they cut or they concentrate so well, so they see how the mind is working, and they cut in to stop the karma from moving in that right moment. Explained very shortly as I understood. And if I see their way, their theory behind it and their way of going about it, then why should virtue have to come towards it to make this cut with karma? And when karma is cut, when there's no more karma, then aren't you automatically a Buddha? If there's no more karma, then really it should be like enlightenment. Maybe I misunderstand. That's why I'm asking.
All right. Yes, actually, one thing that Sharavikas or Theravada, these I often think is hard to judge it through the tradition. I don't mean you do it, judge. But it is depending practitioners. So when we practice something and we dedicate only for oneself, then it is like a Sharavika's practice. And then my answer to your question is, yes, they greatly practice and cut the thoughts, cut the karma. And then what happened is we all remain in this samsara since beginningless time. So why do we call beginningless? Because we cannot fathom when we started. Then since beginningless time, accumulated karma. So right now, if we cut that, it will cut future karmas, but it cannot purify the past and past karmic fruitions. For that reasons, they do greatly, but they should make purify completely. So in the winter, water become ice, but summer it will become melted. So when in the summer season we look at the water, we say there's no ice, but still the winter comes, that same water will become frozen. Similarly, if only however, we have to make summer season for we don't have to, how to say, winter season and so forth. We can make all the seasons are summer season, then there will not water will not frozen. Otherwise, in the winter season, water will become frozen again. Same like that. So they cut present karma, but it will not able to cut the past karmas through these ways. All right.
Alrighty, we'll move. Khenpo, on page 21 in the Ornament of a Mahayana Sutra, compassion and engaging perfectly in virtues, these should be recognized as signs of their potential. Isn't that already a sign for Buddha instead of a potential? Perfect virtue needs perfect wisdom, and who other than the Buddha would be able to have or act in that way?
Mm-hmm. This is like a bird, actually, bird. All the birds have feathers, but baby birds, they can fly a little while, but not higher and longer. So still we can call their feather. They have a feather. We can call them birds because they have a feather. So it has different skills, different powers. Some birds can fly very higher and far, and many hours or many days probably. Similarly, Buddha has perfect wisdom, and Sharavikas and over all of us, we have perfect wisdom, but Buddha's wisdom is completely perfected. So our wisdom is perfect, but not completely perfected, because we still on this our wisdom remains some kind of dirt, is thick ignorance, like a gross ignorance, and then subtle ignorance, and then very subtle, which is called imprint of ignorance. That's where the differences are like that. But when they can purify these obscurations, and then their perfect wisdom, Buddha's perfect, Sharvika's perfect wisdom, our perfect wisdom, and Buddha's perfect wisdom, they are no different. At that time, they are not Sharavikas, and we are not Mahayanas, because we all reach a nameless stage. This is a very special stage when we all will reach there. So the perfect wisdom has no different. Only how much they can purify. It's depending on that.
Questions from the Zoom room? Yep, Jay gonna raise that hand.
Yes,
all right,
please.
There you go.
Yeah, if nobody, I don't want to, you guys get it.
That's
but
great.
If there
That's
are
great.
questions, I've got them. So I think I know that the antidote to ignorance is wisdom. Is there a color that can be, and I'm one of the visualization is one of the techniques or the skills practices that works for me. Is there a color that can be visualized or some kind of scene or something when ignorance is recognized? I know there's preparatory stuff to keep to purify the ignorance. And is there some kind of, as soon as the ignorance is recognized, is there some kind of visualization or something that can be used?
Yes. Wisdom is the antidote of ignorance, and so for make sense, we explain the ignorance. The example of ignorance is darkness, which means can't see. So then, example of wisdom is sunlight or sun and sunshine or moonlight and so on, because then on daytime we can see, we can do a lot of things. So, but according to colors, the color in the Mahamudra, the Hong syllable, its color is blue dark blue. So this means it's colorless. So it's quite hard to see through one way, because according to 5 family Buddhas, then some they have different colors, but they all are the in the reality they all are the Dharmakayas. So the color, it is very much related practitioners' karma. I mean, and elements. The karma is actually also comes from elements. Yeah, the colors are also appear from elements, inner elements. So one has more elements, wind. One has more elements of fire, one has more elements of earth. So depending different elements, then appear more this part of color. And this color appears, then that yidam also quite easily appear through this color. That's what I think, because of interdependence. So but the paramodal wisdom is colorless. If there some colors appear, it should be dark blue color, because which means colorless. But why it does not only dark? Why it does not only blue? Because blue is very very kind of clear, more clear. But if it is too much clearer, then we are fixated on that. Then that is a color. But if this is completely dark, and then it's kind of then unclear. It's quite unclear. That's where dark blue means. So blue part is light, dark part is also kind of not completely dark, but however it means not color is not appear from the these colors not appear from the relative truth. This color is appears from ultimate truth. So
right. Is that the radiance?
Yes, radiance from radiance. We can say radiance, but then in the reality, this is it is a quality, our rigpa, awareness, intrinsic awareness quality. So it just always appear there. This color and intrinsic awareness are inseparable and non-duality.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
So much. Thank you.
Eleanor, you have a hand raised.
Oh, yes.
In relation to the question that the lady just asked, is that why Medicine Buddha, Vajradhara are blue, or dark sapphire blue?
Yes. The Vajradhara and the Dharmakaya, they all blue color. That means they are colorless. And yes, formless, colorless. Because if there are some colors, then we will fixate on it. But many in the Sambhogakayas, they have different colors, right? But medicine Buddha. Medicine Buddha is essence of all Buddhas, and Vajradhara is essence of all Buddhas. So that means, yeah.
Okay. I just came from an Achi couple of days retreat, and so my head is like a little wrong. But I never knew that Achi had all these parts to her and that she was considered the mother Buddha. So why isn't she blue?
All right. Apchi is Mother Buddha. Right. Real Apchi's color is kind of, I'd say it's blue, it's a little funny, but Apchi appears to us as Nirmanakaya. Actually, Apchi, because she appears for protect our Dharma practitioners. Particularly, her responsibility is this Dogonkaju lineage is she should protect this Dogonkaju lineage practitioners, and at the same time she protect all Dharma practitioners. Many lineages they practice. So she appear as a white color. That means she could be. I don't know. Just right now, I said, Apchi is appear in the white color, which means it's easily can see when we do that. When we do practice, she easily appear to us and easily can help. And then some other like Yidams and this Dhammakaya part, from ourselves, we have to more purify subtle obscurations, and then they will appear. How much we can purify, then they can appear. So Nirmanakaya means they appears as ordinary beings and ordinary forms and so forth.
Thank you.
So welcome. Inherently, Apchi is the Paranjana Parimita. Inherently, it's colorless and formless.
Thank you.
So welcome. Thank you.
All right, Paolo.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I was wondering if you could explain how is it that awareness is also emptiness? Because just my experience is like everything happens within awareness. So how can I take the next step in my meditation? Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes, all you say appearances or awareness?
Awareness. Yeah.
Awareness. Oh, yes. Awareness is emptiness. This is right now we appears these things, and we have some realizations. For example, I have a realization of this book. For example, I don't mean the meaning of this book. I know this book. So these are baby of awareness, baby of awareness. But awareness means it first awareness means it see object to see the essence of a subject. We call awareness that. But then the reality of awareness is it's beyond of thought, beyond of perception, and beyond of appearances. So right now we appear these mountains, rivers, trees. We appear they are as real things. But the awareness means in our mind, when we gain the real intrinsic awareness, and then these trees are become like a moon's reflection in the water. So they will not stop to appear in our mind, but they are no different like moon's reflection in the water. We should more focus on there. So moon's reflection, we go to the river and the water and look carefully in the water. Then moon's reflection appear there, but that is not real moon as what we see in the space or sky. So emptiness means emptiness. It does not mean nothing, but emptiness means something appears to you, and then these things are inherently or in reality not truly exist. But then where they are appears, where are they appearing? They are not appear in our ordinary mind. They appears in intrinsic awareness. So whenever you can see this object or these things are like a moon's reflection in the water, at that moment your mind is awareness. And then these appearing things, and your intrinsic awareness are no different. Oh, this is my awareness, and then this is the appearing things. They are no different. Thus you should again through meditate and experientially should be again. And at that time they are really no different. They are no different. Red no say no different. But at that moment it's very clear in your mind. Very clearly you can understand they are no different. You don't want to particularly make effort or they are no different. If these things, these phenomena can appear as moon's reflection in your mind, that moment these and your mind are, these appearances and your mind are no different. That means awareness and emptiness are same. Means that. So moon's reflection and water are no different. In the relative form, when water moves, moon also move. But the moon's reflection moves. Yeah? I say moon's reflection, but trees reflect in the water, and the water moved by wind, the tree moved. So that is this movement is also reflection. So whenever you understand these things, at that time you will understand they are no different. So we don't okay, it's dependent with the practitioners. Sometimes more focus on no different part, but mainly try to appear them as moon's reflection, and then you will gain, oh, this is like that. Whenever you will experience, that time you will understand. That how I can say now, but it's your through your primordial wisdom understand more than that. Okay. Thank you. Yes. Oh yes. Oh, your. Oh. Oh, yeah.
I don't know if this is a help or not, and I don't know if I understand your question perfectly. Mm-hmm. But I read this fantastic little book that was only 100 pages long, and I read it 8 more times. and it's called The Secret Oral Teachings of Tibetan Buddhism. And like the first half of the book, or the first chapter anyway, is devoted to just this, about how when you look at something, your mind has to process it. So like if you're in a desert and you're walking along, and in the distance you see something that might be a tree. So your mind says tree, and all your six consciousness work together to form a tree in your head. So you go, oh, that's a tree. But in actuality, it's a mirage. So, and as you get closer to it and more details come out, then you can construct the real whatever it is. But the book really, I have to go back now and read it again. But it's what made me aware of, like, awareness, and it's very connected to mindfulness. It's like when you get so, and I've done this a few times, but I can't seem to keep there yet. When you get in the habit of paying attention to your feelings and your mindfulness as what you're going, it's like while you're doing whatever you're doing, it's like you get a sense, and there's no head political construction about what that sense is. That's the awareness. You got aware of something, and then the six consciousnesses come in and take the data that's available at that particular point in time and construct something and says, oh, okay, that's what that is, which may or may not be true. So it's that awareness that you strive to really become aware of. And it's not the awareness of something at the other end that you're aware of that's already constructed and you want it or you don't want it and you're pushing against it. All it does is make it more solid. If you want to get rid of it, you have to change the conditions that made the thing up or that you want, and come over here where before the mind constructed whatever it was to the awareness. The book does a much better job than I am of explaining this, but it's like I said, it's only 100 pages, and I found it very, very valuable.
Oh, thank you very much. It's great. Yes, say like this books introduced, that is really great help. Thank you. Yes, please, Jay.
The easiest from us, because I do things from a scientific, it's because that just makes it, that's what I do. I have two eyes. I actually see two things. Each eye sees separately. And I prove that you can, there's a thumb example where you hold your thumb out, and it actually, I can't do it because we're not all together, and you have to find a spot. But then you can actually see that it looks like the thumb moves, but it doesn't. But that's because each eye is seen separately. But in reality, there are two images coming in, but there's only one image that gets processed. So it literally does construct. It's amazing. Same with anything that has to do with, I don't know about taste, but even with hands, with touch, just FYI, everybody.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll finish with the last question on the piece of paper. We have just enough time maybe to answer this question, and then
can we finish only last question?
Yeah, last question.
Yes.
So, Khenpo, could you please help us understand why Gampopa introduces Buddha nature at the beginning of his teachings, while Buddha Shakyamuni waits until the third turning to teach about Buddha nature and to a very smaller audience?
So this Actually, when Buddha taught, first time he says profound and extremely this peace and simplicity. So when he began to teach, actually he started his profound teachings from there. And as you said, in the publicly he taught step by step and gradually. So this is the Gampopa's teaching is the Lamrim. Now Lamrim means the path instruction. I think path how to gradually practice. So the reason he first taught this the Buddha nature is because first we give value. We should understand the value why we are going to practice the 4 thoughts and 6 perfections, and why should you have to practice on there, because we have a Buddha nature. So like that. So he first introduced the Buddha nature is like that, and then the when one practice on there, when we practice on there, then there are we can practice 2 ways. One is only single-pointedly focus on the meaning of these teachings. When you read each chapter, after you read one chapter, and then you meditate on there. You meditate, you reflect, and try to get the realization there, and then you read the next chapter, and then focus on there, and then reflect. There is one way. Another way is you read at the same time you will understand the meanings. You think, oh, and you then you promote your faith, understanding, bodhicitta, and so forth. Okay, then thank you so much. It's wonderful that you guys ask questions and share. All of them are really wonderful. That's why it is so great, and I deeply rejoice. And let us dedicate our merit, and also first we dedicate, and let me say one word, okay? Janjo senjo rinpoche ma je ba nam je 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 ba nyam ba me ba yang gone gonde pe var jo.
May bodhicitta, the precious and supreme mind, arise in whom it has not yet arisen. Where it has arisen, may it not decline, but ever increase higher and higher.
So actually I did that last week. Some questions were not able to finish. So then if it took around 2 more weeks, then I will not let you waiting for long. So I will answer through the email in the Gachin Buddhist Institute. So then today I could not finish 3 questions. These are pretty early asked about merit part. It's asked about merit and so forth. So I will answer it through email, okay? Thank you so much. Have a wonderful time.